So to really support this meditation, I am utilizing a meditation practice on the 8 stages that was composed by Roshi Joan Halifax, a Zen teacher who has spent decades supporting the dying and also training medical staff who also take care of dying people. And in her process of composing this meditation on the 8 stages, she was encouraged by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Chagdo Tuku, who was a Nyingma Lama, and also Diane Shainberg, who was a psychotherapist who really helped dying people come to terms with their process. And I also used this meditation dozens of times this past winter as I looked at my inevitability of my death and the uncertainty of it, and I found it extremely helpful. So we'll begin the practice with just a 9 of the, we'll do the Shakyamuni Buddha mantra. We'll get into our meditation posture. I will set a short motivation and we'll go right into breathing. And I'm going to do this so that we end with the meditation. There may be lots of questions. This is a very profound and very new practice for many of us. And then just let that be the end and then take the time to integrate and to think about the meditation. So that's what we'll do. So let's start with some of the Buddhist mantra. Tayata hom mune mune maha munaye soham. 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 So let's check our meditation posture. Really giving a sense of being an embodied being, sitting in space. Our hands, our palms on top of one another, thumbs touching. Eyes slightly closed, shoulders level. Head slightly tipped down. Chest gently lifted to give the spine some support. The tongue falling quite naturally behind the upper teeth. And the arms gently away from the body so air moves around the body as we sit. Really get a sense of being in the body. And as you sit and find yourself present in space in your body, if there are any sensations in your body that you might refer to as unpleasant, whether there's a restlessness or a dis-ease, a tightness, a tiredness, a tension. Let's bring that mind that is clear and cognizant, direct its attention to that place where those sensations are arising, abiding, and ceasing. And let that attention help to loosen, to unwind, to settle that place. So do a quick body scan from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. just checking in a gentle body scan. And then when you get up to the crown of your head, gently turn back down and scan back down to your toes. Just making sure as best as you can that the body is as present and as at ease as it can be. Attentive. And then let's set our motivation for our last sitting together for this retreat. And to really acknowledge and appreciate all of our willingness and open-heartedness to listen, to think, to ask questions about an extremely important journey in all sentient beings' lives. Each moment we are stepping closer to death. We don't know when it is going to happen, but it is certain to come. And unlike most sentient beings in the world that rarely perhaps think of it, much less actively participate in reflecting at its certainty, let's really rejoice and appreciate our willingness to listen to the teachings this weekend. To be able to think about what kind of mind would be most helpful, and how the Buddha perfectly laid out a roadmap on how to bring the body and mind in sync, prepared as best as we are able where we are to be ready for death should it come, because the time of it is uncertain. To understand the importance of thinking about it as much as we can. To bring a new sense of clarity and purpose to our minds if we deeply understand any of the elements we've heard about this weekend on death and impermanence. Because in the end, to really attain that long-term goal of awakening, we're going to want to free ourselves from the cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death that we've done since beginningless time. We can see the limits of this body. We can see the limits of these gross states of mind that really become obstacles to us to be able to cultivate all of our good qualities to their perfection, to be able to cultivate that exalted wisdom mind that can see reality clearly and directly. And so really taking the opportunity to think about death and dying is giving us a little bit of energy to say, this is a process that I hope to someday not have to go through again. But while I still go through it, may it become part of the causes for my awakening, rather than the causes for my disturbing emotions, to fuel the ignorance of grasping at the self. So may this meditation also become part of the cooperative conditions for our awakening. Once freed of this body, freed of this cycle, with the omniscient mind of a Buddha, we will be of the greatest in the greatest state to be able to be of benefit to each and every living being, unencumbered by this earthly form and this afflicted mind. So let's really use this time together to bring that motivation clearly into the practice. So the practice begins. Let the mind become still. Let the breath become even and smooth. Focus your attention by abiding in your breath. Whatever comes up, resistance or concern, grief or joy, boredom or story, notice it, accept it, and then return to the breath. At this time, all beings in one way or another are dying. Although some of us are closer to death than others, the time of our death is uncertain. If you are not actively dying at this time, imagine yourself as dying and remember, on some level, you are dying. You have a sense of who you are as an identity. You are now going to release that distinct identity into spaciousness, into vastness. Let yourself attend to your breath. Be in the breathing. Mark the out-breath with a slight increase of attention, an increase of commitment to the breath of releasing, expiring, letting go. Imagine that this is an actual description of dying, of your dying. Notice what goes on as you do this practice. Let each of the feelings and some sensations that come up for you pass through your mind and body, be noticed, and then released. This practice is about awakening to your essential spaciousness. Stage 1, the dissolution of earth into water and the unbinding of the body. Imagine that you are in your bed at home. You are dying. Perhaps friends and family you have requested to be with you are around you, but you are barely aware of them. You are somewhat agitated, and you accept this state of mind. Your body is thin and weak. You cannot get up. You cannot quite sit up. You cannot pick up anything. You do not have, nor do you need, the energy to do anything but simply be here. You are releasing this flesh and bone, this nerve and marrow. You are letting go as you die. Feel your body become heavy, pressed down by a great weight. This is a heaviness that is dense and deep, going right to the core of your body. Let yourself be pressed down by the weight of death. As you become weaker, your body feels less defined. Your arms and legs feel quite not part of you, and it seems as if your legs could slip off your hip bones, your arms off your shoulders. Experience this body dissolving, melting. There is no distinction between the bed and you. It's as if you were sinking into water. With this sinking feeling comes a sense of even greater weakness and tiredness. The boundary between your body and space is beginning to dissolve. Wake up as this body lets go. Your senses are less attuned to the outside world. Your sight is dim and dark. It is difficult to open and close your eyes. Your sensory grasp on the world is loosening. The outside world is slipping away. Your skin is pale as your blood pressure drops. The blood withdraws into the central part of your body. There is no strength left now in what was the strong body. You are drowsy and weak with no interest in the outside world. You sink deeper and deeper into an undifferentiated mental state. Whatever visions you see appear like shimmering blue mirages. This is the dissolution of body and of our relationship to the physical world. These feelings of heaviness, drowsiness, being weighed down, the loss of definition, the withdrawal of color from our bodies, the loss of control, and our inability to see the form world around us. In this state of mind and body, be awake, effortlessly present. The mind can be still and reflective as you wake up, as you let go. Be present as this body is dying. This body is not you. This is the dissolution of the element of earth as it sinks into water and form unbinds into feelings. Stage 2, the dissolution of the water element into fire and the unbinding of feelings. Feel your body dissolving as you are letting go. Your hearing is diminished, and you sink into an undifferentiated state of mind. You have now lost control of the fluids in your body. Your nose is running. Saliva is leaking out of your mouth. There is a watery discharge coming out of your eyes, it is difficult for you to hold your urine. Your generative fluids have dried up, and your skin is clammy. As fluids leave the body becomes parched. The skin is papery. Your mouth is drawn, your lips are chapped. Your tongue is thick, sticky, and heavy. Your throat is scratchy and clogged. Your nostrils seem to cave in, burning with dryness as you inhale. Your eyes feel sandy and sting. You are not passing much urine. You have a thirst that no amount of water can quench. Moisture is leaving your body, never to return. Wake up as you are desiccating. Let go fully into this dryness. Release the fluid element of your body, the element of water and of feeling. Your mind is hazy and you are somewhat irritable. You have ceased to experience pain, pleasure, or even indifference. You do not have feelings related to happiness or unhappiness. You are numb and do not differentiate between physical and mental impressions. Those kinds of distinctions are not important to you now. When you look behind your eyes, you see a vision of swirling smoke. See this haziness that dissolves all differences. The water element is dissolving into fire. This is the end of your responsiveness to phenomena. As you let go, wake up in this vision of swirling smoke. Stage 3. The dissolution of the fire element into air and the unbinding of perceptions. As the fire element of your body begins to dissolve into air, your body feels cool. Heat withdraws from your feet and hands into the body's core. Your breath is cold as it passes through your mouth and nose. Your mouth, nose, and eyes dry out even more. Your ability to perceive is further diminished. The fire element is dissolving into the element of air. You cannot smell anything. You are not hungry, nor can you digest food. You cannot drink or swallow. The in-breath is less strong, and the out-breath is longer. Your mental perception alternates between lucidity and confusion. You cannot see, hear, taste, touch, or smell as the sense fields fade away. Your in-breath is short. Your out-breath is long. You cannot remember the names of your loved ones. You cannot recognize those around you. You have lost any sense of purpose in your life. And you have no interest in what is going on around you. You may feel as if you are being consumed in a blaze of fire that rises into space. Let go into this fire and see it as your mind releasing itself. Or you may see a vision of sparks, almost like fireflies. Wake up in this vision of shimmering sparks behind your eyes. Let yourself discern the truth of dying. This is the dissolution of the fire element into air and the unbinding of your ability to perceive. Stage 4, the dissolution of the wind element into space and the unbinding of mental formations. You now have given up any sense of volition. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do. Accept this aimlessness, free of meaning and purpose. You are at last free of these pressures. Your in-breath is short, your out-breath is long. The mind is no longer aware of the outside world. As the element of air is dissolved, you're having visions. Your visions may be jewel-like and filled with insight that can never be expressed. These visions relate to who you are and how you have lived your life. You may be seeing your family or your ancestors in a peaceful setting. You may be seeing beautiful people, saints, or friends welcoming you. You may be reliving pleasant experiences from your past. Or you may have demonic and hellish visions. If you have hurt others, those whom you have injured may appear to you. Difficult and dreadful moments of your life may arise to haunt you. You may see people with whom you have had negative interactions attacking you. You may even cry out in fear. Do not identify with these visions. Simply let them be. The element of air is dissolving. You do not have to do anything. Just practice this breath of release and let go of everything. Your tongue is thick and heavy. Its root is blue. You have lost your taste for life as you lose the sense of taste. You cannot feel texture or body sensations. Your body is barely moving. The last energy of your body is withdrawing now to your body's core. Whatever heat left in your body now resides in the area of the heart. The in-breath is short, a mere sip of air. The out-breath is long and uneven. Your eyes, gazing into emptiness, roll upward. No intellect is present. Your consciousness at this point is reduced to a smaller and smaller entity. Three rounds of respiration. Your body lifts slightly to meet the breath, which does not enter. Your mental functions cease altogether. Your consciousness has dissolved into space. The perception from the outside is that you are dead. Breathing has stopped. Brain function has stopped. The body feels no sensation. Know this empty state. Know this stillness and surrender to it. Experience it. This is the element of wind dissolving into space. Become space. At the moment of physical death, one sees the small flickering flame like a candle. Now it is suddenly extinguished, and you're without any conception. Step number 5. The gross conceptual consciousness has absorbed. Due to this, a vision of a clear, empty night sky filled with the brightness of a full moon appears. The 6th stage. The inner vision now turns like an empty sky, filled like a clear copper red autumn sky at dusk. Stage number 7. Thick darkness, like a deep autumn night sky, appears, and you swoon into unconsciousness. And finally, stage number 8. Out of this unconsciousness, luminescence arises. You are one with a clear dawn sky, free of sunlight, moonlight, and darkness. The most subtle, clear light of mind is liberated, the mother of light. This is your ultimate great perfection. So I think that that meditation, I would think if you put into a search engine, Joan Halifax, 8 dissolutions. I did 90, there was a little bit on the drops and such that I didn't want to put into because Venerable didn't talk about that in detail. But I'm sure you will find it. It's a beautiful meditation, very poetic, I find, very visual for our creative minds. So once again, thank you so much for being with us and taking to heart these beautiful teachings on dying. and to really take them to heart and take time to look over them. Really worth it. And this meditation has helped me personally to really loosen my identity to self, and also lessens my anxiety. In my own mind, it's not so much that I feared death, it was mostly the anxiety about the process of getting there. And so by doing this meditation many, many times in the past 3 months, it has really settled my mind that I have some familiarity and maybe a little bit of confidence, a little bit of maybe I'll have some wherewithal at the time that I'm dying. So I did find it very helpful. So let's dedicate our merit. Due to this merit, may we soon attain the awakened state of Guru Buddha, that we may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious Bodhi mind, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. In the snowy mountain pure land, you're the source of good and happiness. Powerful Tenzing Gyatso Chenrezi, may you stay until samsara ends.